What's up, SNA Assassinators? This is Super Ninja Austin back here with another video. And this is the Monday Night Raw review video on February 10th, 2025, where we're going to be talking about what exactly went down. And I'll say this Monday Night Raw was absolutely really good. Like, I gotta admit, they looked like they're full ahead, like, for Monday Night Raw. For me, Monday Night Raw was fully ahead of WrestleMania 41, which we finally found out who Jey Uso exactly is gonna be challenging for a championship at the Showcase of the Immortals. And also we got some the two qualifier matches, like exactly how I predicted, well, at least in winning perspectives. I'll say the main event, I'll say the finish, I thought it was gonna be like a screwy finish, but amazingly it was like a very fair fight, like with Logan Paul debuting the finisher maneuver. And we got a pretty interesting tag team match between Liv Morgan, what's her name? Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez against Raquel's former tag partner Dakota Kai and her current tag partner Io Sky in the tag team match, which Triple H is proving all the fans that doubts that the women's tag division is going to be getting any better anytime soon. And some of the I heard from some of the people on the internet, like, were claiming that WrestleMania 41's buildup of the card is completely ruined. But tonight's Monday Night Raw said otherwise. Like, it was basically like how it was supposed to be. Like, if it's already in the post show, like Raw after Elimination Chamber, like the way except without the qualifier stuff. And yeah, you get the point. But let's get to the point and talk about what happened. We saw the two former women's tag team champions. One was Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez was walking in one side of the entrance, and then the other side, we saw Dakota and Io went in, and we also got the return of AJ Styles, and then we got Logan Paul and what's his name? We also got Logan Paul and Rey Mysterio coming in from the opposite sides and inside the building, which they probably have so much entrances and exits. We probably get lost track whatever city they were in. I totally forgot where they were located at, but this is where we got main event. Jey Uso was with the fans. Started like, yeah, let's do this, Us. And then this is where we got he started doing a heat wave right in the audience, and then he did all the way down there, and then he gave a quick high five to my boy Pat McAfee. That's where we got what's his name? That's where we're on the way down from the upstairs. That's where he started doing the heat wave with the fans. Where we got Jey Uso went up on the top rope, and then did the same thing until he got in the ring, about to cut a promo, but before he could even say anything, it's where the fans started saying one more time, started doing the yeet chants and doing the yeet wave. It's where the main event Jey Uso did it again. But this time he was doing it right onto the announce table. But it's where then we saw someone that attacked him out of nowhere, which you probably already guessed, which Michael Cole was the first one that pointed it out, saying, "Watch out, Jey Uso," but it was too late. It was none other than the ring general that has the envy list of everybody who mocked him over at the other company. The ring general, current world heavyweight champion, I should rephrase it, referring to him as, and that is Gunther, that was there, just running what's his name through the apron, Jey Uso, after tripping him over right out of the announce table, like CM Punk style, like the way he did it to Dramatic. It's where Pat McAfee said the best line of the night, and said, well, where the hell he came from? And I was screaming like he just came out of nowhere. Even at that camera angle, I couldn't even see Gunther. Like, he had to come up hiding probably underneath the ring somewhere, for him to make it into the ring arena very quick. But that's where Gunther looked like he was about to finish him off with the Gunther bomb, but it's where he decided to rip the shirt when Jey Uso pushes him. It's where the big old knife edge chop, which I think that was the message that he sent to those guys over the other company to stop using it, or else there will be some consequences and repercussions. But that's where we got Gunther to try to go for a power bomb to the main event Yeet Master. This is where he ends up hitting the power bomb. But that's where he immediately went out when he put him into a sleeper hold that looks similar to the Anti-Cow device, except the thing is he didn't put his arm around the side of his head like how Punk does to his opponents, or else CM Punk would have came out there and threw some cease and dismiss papers into the face of the ring general. But it's where But before he even came out there, that's where the referees then sprinted out there, telling him to get out there, and I don't think that Gunther even cared if even if he did even if he did do it the exact how CM Punk did it. Like I believe Punk didn't probably don't even care, and also I mean, also, but I mean, what I'm talking about, I mean, Gunther definitely probably wouldn't even care because because guys like CM Punk, like over at the other company, was doing the chop, even though his ties were cut by that specific company. That's why he's there in WWE. But that's where Jey Uso then got back up as soon as Gunther was almost right at the stage. That's where Jey Uso was like, "Hey, Uso, like I'm gonna tell you something that I should have said 7 nights ago." And that's where then he's like, I am choosing you as my opponent for WrestleMania 41. And that's where then that's where then Jay and that's where Gunther's like, don't pick me. You're not on my level. I already told you like about 100,000 times. And then this where then and that's where then Jay Uso ended up doing it, needless to say. But that's where Gunther to try to that's where then you try to run out there and try to finish him off because there's no point of waiting until the next 2 months. Like this is where then, but he ends up getting hit with a big old right hand and a couple others until he fought right with the security guard. But once Gunther got back up, this is where then he Uso hit the Usos blast where he tried to attack him, but luckily the security finally got off their rear ends and and broke up the fight along with the producers because some of the producers are former wrestlers like Kenny Dykstra, Sean Devari, Robert Roode. Well, I'm not sure if Robert Roode was there, but yeah, like half the producers were former wrestlers themselves. So of course they're gonna break it up, but this is where then they finally got it broken. And what was your reaction on Jey Uso finally picking Gunther as his opponent for WrestleMania 41? And do you think he's going to finally win this time? Let me know down in the comment section right down below. But that's where we got Pat McAfee was definitely hyped up for his match. And also, what we can see in the background with Pat McAfee was hyped up along with Michael Cole. Was talking to them on the subject until they move on to the tag match that was coming up next, and it was none other than Kettle Chips that was right behind him because he was sitting in attendance, and you should have seen his reaction when he saw Bailey was performing. But we're gonna get into that in just a moment. But let's get into the back into the ring because we got a tag team match. But that's where we got Kathy Kelly. Then there was in the interview with her, like her real life friend, I guess you could call her, which that sounds very cringy and cheesy. But that's where she was like, "How do you feel all those feelings that Liv Morgan stuff?" And finally getting another shot at the women's world championship. But Rhea Ripley then dismissed it, and she was like, Kathy, like, like I don't have no worries about Liv, but she's not the only woman that has an opportunity against me at the showcase event. But that's where she was. But and that's where then what's her name? Rhea Ripley was like, but like even if she does win, she's gonna have a second round of a beating by her favorite eradicator, and also like as for Charlotte Flair, like she's wasting too much time to choose who which opponent she wants to face because because like because she's just the sad former version of herself trying to stay relevant. But this is where Io Sky then came right behind her. This is where she let Rhea Ripley know that she haven't forgot what happened about exactly a week ago. Yeah, because Rhea because Rhea Ripley accidentally attacked Liv Morgan because Liv Morgan tried to grab her and try to stop her from beating up her bodyguard, which is whether it's Big Mama Cool or Big Mommy Cool, whatever you want to call. What's her name? Raquel Rodriguez. But anyways, let's before we get the tag team match, as soon as like Rio Scott ran right past Rhea Ripley, or ran right to Rhea Ripley on purpose, obviously, because she will let her know that she had forgotten him. She gets an opportunity for that women's world championship, even if it's not in WrestleMania 41. She's still she's still gonna find a way to make her life a living nightmare or a living hell, whatever you want to call it. But anyways, this is where then we got But that's where we got the War Raiders. We're getting ready for tonight with them showing the hype video of American Made, like including when Chad Gable was like, I hope there's gonna be some world heavyweight duo gold right around your waist, even though he didn't refer to World Tag Team Championship as a belt like that in particular. But this is where he basically didn't. This is where then he told not even now said the same. This is where they start showing them getting ready by backstage in their respective areas that they were training at to get prepared. This is where we got the match started with Io Sky taking on Raquel Rodriguez because she preferred her to face her because she hadn't forgot what happened almost 4 years ago when she took the NXT Women's Championship from her. But that's where we got Io Sky and was amazingly was taking down the 6-footer female star. This is where then she tags in Dakota Kai. This is where they get a double drop kick onto the captain of the team, kicks female, her former tag partner. This is where she tried Irish whip right to the bottom corner side. But this is where she ends up getting countered by her former partner, Raquel. This is where then she tried to go for an elbow, but this is where we got Dakota Kai move out of the way. This is where she tried to jump and try to go for a leg kick, like if she was like Jeff Hardy when he does the poetry in motion. But this is where she picked her up, hit her back super. This is where she tried throwing to the upper right corner. But this is where she ends up getting thrown by a counter. Via counter by Dakota. This is where we got Raquel Rodriguez hit an elbow on her. This is where we got her tagging in. This is where Raquel hit a clothesline fall, but this is where Liv Morgan then gets tagged in. But this is where she ends up getting back heel kicked by Dakota. This is where she tags in Io Sky. This is where we got Liv Morgan trying to run, but she ends up getting pulled by the Genius of the Sky. This is where they start going at it until Liv Morgan tries to go for a clothesline attempt. This is where Io Sky does go for a cartwheel and the back flip. This is where she hits a cold breaker, taking the page out of her and a certain wrestler that used to wrestle in WWE that's now a teacher over the other company. This is where we got. This is where then we got this is where we got Io Sky trying to go for what they call a back to belly suplex maneuver. This is where she ends up getting boot right to the face when Liv Morgan went right to the right corner side where Raquel Rodriguez hit a boot right into the face, which is Liv's bodyguard. This is where she then started some kicks. This is where she go for a tag to Liv Morgan. Morgan started going for stomps right into the midsection onto Io. This is where she tags in her bodyguard Big Mommy Cool. This is where she started some elbow strikes right into the face. This is where she hit some back elbows right and follow that up with tags in Liv Morgan. Then Liv Morgan then starts stomping onto the former WWE Women's and NXT Women's Champion. That's where the referee's like. That's where the referee was saying, like, stop or else you're going to get disqualified, like, when he was at the count of 2. And Liv Morgan scream at his face, like, I know! And that's where then she tags in Raquel Rodriguez, where Raquel splashed right on top of Io Sky, like, which they were just completely dominating the poor, the poor Genius of the Sky that's the former NXT and WWE Women's Champion. But still, despite the power shot from Raquel, she's still hanging on there at the count of 2.7. This is where we got Raquel that throws Io Sky right to the bottom right side, starts stomping on her. This is where she tags in Liv Morgan. This is where then she this is where she tried to throw her right to Liv Morgan's way, which Liv Morgan got double knees right onto Io's face, then hit a double-handed running bulldog or flying bulldog, whatever you want to call it. That's where she tried to go for a pin. That's where she only got denied at 2.6. That's where Liv Morgan's like, oh, and started sarcastically, started feeling sympathy onto Io Sky. Like you're not winning, are you? And this is where then she tagged in Raquel Rodriguez. She get her punch right in the midsection. This is where Raquel was about to give her a reminder who was the one that dethroned Io for that said NXT Women's Championship. That's where Io Sky back elbowed her, but she ends up getting clotheslined by the 6-foot Latina star. This is where we got Raquel about to body slam her like 10 feet up in the air. But this is where Io flip right out of it, go for a sleeper. But this is where Raquel tried to throw her right into back first into the bottom right corner side, but she ends up getting what they call it, like this is where she ends up hitting her own back right into the turnbuckle because nowhere Io was found. This is where she ducks out of a clothesline from Raquel. Tags in Dakota. Dakota go for a swift kick. This is where Dakota Kai goes going for forearm strikes right into the face. This is where then we got him going for a punch right to the midsection, hit a European uppercut, hit a discus right hand. This is where she runs right to the left side. This is where she tried to go for a clothesline, but this is where Raquel was still standing. This is where she trips her right over, hits face first, where she gets swift kick right into the face again. This is where Dakota Kai goes to the bottom course line, hits a flying boot right into the face. This is where she tries to go for a pin. This is where whoever counted one, whoever counted two, but this is where Raquel kicked out at 2.4. But this is where Dakota Kai's like, so much for being being an upgraded finishing maneuver, but it's where Dakota Kai hits a springboard into a curb stomp right into the face. Is where we got Liv Morgan trying to throw, what's her name? Liv Morgan trying to throw Dakota right into the left corner side, but this is where we got Dakota Kai like countered her, hit her with a big boot right to the face, with Pat McAfee just basically just gave me a reminder who won the Super Bowl, which I don't really want to talk about. But this is where we got. And this is where we got what's her name? Raquel throws what's her name? Dakota Kai face first right into the ring post. Starts smiling, not caring that used to be her tag partner whatsoever. But this is where we got the powerful force and all of professional wrestling came on, which was a commercial break. But once they got done with the advert, this is where we got what's her name? Raquel was still on top because the powerful force must be a massive fan of the team of Liv and Raquel, or at least the Latina 6-footer. But yeah, but that's where she gets thrown by Dakota Kai. Like after she got out of the sleeper hold, that's where she nearly was like inches away from tagging in Io Sky. But it's where she gets grabbed by the foot by Raquel. That's where she hits her with an enziguri. That's where she tried to go for that hollow tag, which Io Sky was fuming in the hands, like with both hands. That's where she gets tagged in with the left hand, with her letting go with the right string off the right hand. Is where she started going for some comeback maneuvers onto Liv Morgan. That's where she grabbed the former women's world champion to try to do it on the right side. Liv Morgan count out of the way. This is where we got Liv Morgan tried to do her in the corner. This is where what's her name? Sky didn't hang on to the ropes. This is where Liv Morgan tried about to do the Bolivian, but this is where she tossed her over the top rope. This is where she hit the hot shot on the Raquel when she tried to save the day. But this is where Sky was like, yeah, I got both of them right where I want them. This is where she hit the double suicide dive onto both teams. But both two members, the tag team members, where she throws Liv Morgan back in the ring. Is where Io went right on the top rope. Unfortunately, she couldn't do the over the moonsault, even if she wanted to, because Liv Morgan immediately got back up. This is where Io Sky improvised, hits a middle missile drop kick right onto the face, onto what's her name, Liv Morgan. Go for the kip up. It's where Io Sky, yeah, like I got all this adrenaline that's in me that's gonna probably last for the next 4 hours. That's kind of random for me to explain that. But anyway, that's where she hits the double knees to the face and the bottom left side. And I was like, with all due respect, I find another particular female women's wrestler that's also a former women's championship there does it a bit better, but she's now in the other company. But anyways, it's where Io Sky tried to go for a pin, but Liv Morgan goes for the shoulder up at 2.7 or 8. This is where Io Sky's like, I don't get it. This is where we got to. This is where Io Sky tried to go for the over the moonsault again. Like, this is where Io Sky tried to get the fans. Or no, he went for the first time, which was successful, but she kicked out 2.9. But it's where she tried to go for the double knees meteor maneuver. Like again, I'm like, sorry, like somebody else does it better, EO. But this is where we got what name Raquel Rodriguez then came and saved the day. Like, that's why she hits her knees hard with, the rules of professional wrestling. Like, if you already hit the maneuver the first time, 9 times out of 10, not going to strike twice in a row. But it's where we got Liv Morgan, tags in Raquel, hits a knee strike right into the face, onto Scott. But something that's shocking happened, like, which we saw the first ever high-flying version of the Shatter Machine, like it was executed by both Raquel and Liv Morgan, like first ever 2 women doing this maneuver, like from the former colleagues of theirs. They used to be in the company, but despite that, I couldn't believe Io Sky did this, because she got her shoulder and legs up at 2.999, 9999999 miles away from being 3, and I'm like, I don't think that ever been kicked out before, at least in the men's division before. But anyways, where we got Liv Morgan, then flip right up onto Raquel's shoulders, like if she was about to get powerbombed by Raquel, even though she was getting powerbombed, but not because Raquel was was trying to do that against her, but for her benefits, I should say that is. This is where she gets, but this is where she landed on Io Sky, like what's it called, like a senton. But next thing you know, she gets Io gets her knees up, hitting her back first with that distraction, so she can worry about Raquel Rodriguez throwing her out. This is where she managed to do so, flipping her right over the top rope. This is where we got this is where we got Io Sky then trying to go for a tag right onto Dakota. Dakota gets the meaty tag. This is where we got Io Sky hit the German suplex after countering a clothesline from Liv Morgan. Dakota kind of hits that sunset flip backstab of hers, then followed that up. I mean, this is where to try to go for a win, and she would have probably gotten away with it sooner if it wasn't for her former meddling teammate. But this is where then we got that's where Raquel Rodriguez started using Liv Morgan as a human helicopter, started chopping down both the damage control members. That's where they got the guarantee of the senton powerbomb double team combo. That's where then we got Raquel Rodriguez had a signature move, the corkscrew elbow dive, like if it's WWE 2K 23 and 24, maybe even 25. But that's where Liv Morgan got denied. But that's where she got denied because for the fact that Io Sky was not the legal woman. So, and the referee let her know that Dakota Kai is. That's where Liv Morgan immediately capitalized less than a second later, which some of y'all probably say, how's that possible? Because a second can happen at any time. Like, and if you can do something before a second, you must be the Flash, or even stop time before it can even tick right back to its normal base. But this is where Liv Morgan managed to do that. That's completely impossible. But she would have probably gotten away with this move if it wasn't for her meddling enemy, which is the Genius of the Sky, hitting a single knee strike, which is the first time I've seen a single meteor strike in WWE or overall professional wrestling. But this is where she hit her so hard to the point that Liv Morgan's head and the right side of her head started bleeding out. This is where it started having me thinking like, this is a sign that we could possibly see that W2K25 could be could have women start bleeding out the red stuff. I'm not sure if that could be the case, but I mean it's a possibility. Even though I'm not sure if I would feel about that. But anyways, it's where we got this is where Pat McAfee would not shut up about the Super Bowl, which we don't want to talk about here on the SNA podcast, unless it's from the last 2 years ago, from like whether if it was 2023 or 24. Then we start talking about that. But anyways, this is where we got Sky trying to go for a drop kick. This is where Raquel gets boots but this is where she picks up her former tag partner Dakota, trying to go for a powerbomb. This is where her Dakota amazingly hit a Hurricane Rana. This is where Dakota Kai hit her signature move, the sidewalk, the sideways, boot to the face, right into the bottom right corner side, into her and Morgan's corner. But this is where Morgan hit a cold break. But the thing is, Sky was legal. This is where she hit her with the most devastating move in all professional wrestling, but that didn't work only for like at 2.5, like a generic quarterback would call. Here's where we got Liv Morgan hit a step up insecurity. Here's where Liv Morgan screamed for the Oblivion, but you know the rules of professional wrestling. Well, actually, this was the third attempt, so I guess this is a pattern, like from the first time she tried to go for it. Here's where Sky go for a super kick right to the midsection, go for the swift kick. This is where then she go. That's where she pushed Io Sky right to the corner. This is where her throwing her right to the corner. This is where she wheelbarrows her and hits a foot stomp right into the midsection of Liv Morgan. Then hit a kick in front of her face, which was guaranteed, by the way. Io Sky then went right back on the top rope. She must have found a double whammy card right beside Liv Morgan laying right to her right side. She hit the over the moon, so to get the 1, 2, 3. Winner of this match, Damage Control's Io Sky and Dakota Kai. Big congratulations for the women. I'm glad that they have this moment right here, even though it's not like a WrestleMania moment, which I'm crossing my fingers for. But what are your thoughts onto this match? Like, and if you ask your boy Super Ninja Austin here, I'm definitely going to be giving it the bronze trophy, third place spot. Because it was really good, like, and also showed like what's to come, like in the women's tag division. Like, if let's just say if one of these women does beat Bianca or Naomi, like when it comes to storyline on who attacked Jade Cargill, like we all know like who could potentially be these women's tag team champions again, regardless, like because both of these women were women's tag team champions like a couple years ago. But this is where we got the recap of what happened last week's main event on Raw, where like when CM Punk won and joined John Cena as the second man in the Elimination Chamber until Kevin Owens came in and attacked him. That's where then they showed what happened this past Friday on SmackDown, which I don't think I gave a clarified word, like multiple clarified words on what the prize fighter said on Friday. So I'm gonna give you a skinny version of it. Like with basically when Kevin Owens basically was explaining why he did what he did to his best friend Sammy, and that's where he was like you even though you did made it into my match against Cody Rhodes, but you didn't do exactly what I asked you to do for a favor, is to make sure that Cody did not do what he was planning on doing to me, and that was nearly trying to end my career, which he was trying to nearly end my, which he was trying to end my career, which he nearly did, I should say. Like he was trying to end my career, which he nearly did, and you didn't do nothing about it. You just stand there wishing the best of luck to either of us guys, like not doing a damn thing like about it. But like hours, like about an hour later, once you were entering the Royal Rumble, like you were making sure that Roman Reigns was not getting eliminated. Like if he either paid you off or you just genuinely decided to kiss his ass and try to help him out or something like that. Yeah. And then you finally got your balls right back in Roman Reigns' pocket or something like that. Well, he didn't say all that, but I thought I might say a line that Kevin Owens said that was very savaging onto Sami Zayn, like about like him, like would you like until you want to be a man and step out of Roman Reigns' saddle, let me know or something like that. Yeah, but that's where I got that from basically. But anyways, is where we got Kevin Owens and say like, so that's why I did what I did. Like, you are a horrible friend, and you're a horrible friend. You always have been, Sammy. Like, and I'm a like, and I'm gonna do basically exactly what I did to you 4 years ago, which was the last time they fought at WrestleMania, which that lasted for like only 2 minutes. But it looks like it's going to last way more longer than this if this is going to be what we think it is going to be leading up to the grandest stage of them all, which there was no clarity on that. But Kevin Owens let him know that he was not quite done with him yet. But we're gonna probably see more like whenever like Sami Zayn does come back from selling that injury, like for him hitting that package pile driver from Kevin Owens 7 days ago, which I think is gonna be any time after Elimination Chamber, which that's probably the best time to do that feud, like with Sami Zayn against Kevin Owens. And in the meantime, I think they should do like a Randy versus Cody match. I mean, Randy versus Kevin match. I mean, at Elimination Chamber. In the meantime, until like they finally bring Sami Zayn back, helps Randy Orton wins that match, and then we still have to find something for Randy to do. I know about that. But that's probably a bit more better to do Owens versus what's his name? Owens versus Zayn at the Showcase of the Immortals of it, because you can't find any more better place to do it at is there. Unless if it's just a genuine feud, like with them having to just fight each other like in a B plus feud, but it looks more of a main event caliber feud. Which, and if there's going to be multiple main event like caliber matches, it should be at the biggest place of the year, and that is WrestleMania. But anyways, this is where we got the Intercontinental Champion, Women's Champion, Lyra Valkyria getting out to the ring along with Bailey, but Bailey was heading out into the opposite side of the hallway. But this is where we got Gunther that was shown on the A&E special of what they call LGF or LFG. No, LFG is what it's called. But that's where Gunther then was giving some advice to the new guy. But he was doing it more in a harshful tone because that is his gimmick. And then that's what makes him like a very relevant and a very awesome, I'll say, performer in WWE and anywhere in wrestling in that matter. But yeah, this where then he even roasted a poor girl that like which we could probably think of it as a joking way, which I would say he deserves Goofy Wrestling of the Night Golden Trophy for that. But I also want to give a Golden Trophy to $1 Million Bayley and a potentially future BF George Kettle Chips that was in attendance right behind Michael Cole and Pat McAfee. But that's where she pointed out both him and Roxanne Perez, because Roxanne Perez is her arch rival in NXT. But that's where Roxanne Perez was announced that next week she will be facing Raquel Rodriguez for the sixth place spot. Was it like that? Yeah, sixth place, because we already got Liv Morgan at number one. Number two is that's the qualifier is Bianca Belair. The third one is Alexa Bliss. That's where they also showed that this Saturday, or was it Sunday? I think it's the Saturday, yeah, the same day as the other company's pay per view, which is I heard is going to be pre-taped and it's going to be on air later on the Saturday evening. But anyways, this is where we got Raquel Rodriguez will be taking on Roxanne. That's where we got Pat May pointed out the San Francisco 49ers tight end. He was start clapping for his $1 million Bayley, like if he's Tommy Richmond. I think that's what the rapper's name is. Yeah. But anyways, that's where then we got. This is where I got Lyra Valkyria came out. This is where we got. This is where this match definitely getting the silver trophy of the night, because they show that these women like are definitely are the superstars of today. I guess you could say that's the best term to put it. But but uh, but but Lyra Valkyria is yet to become be a main roster world champion. But even though she is the Intercontinental champion, that's a perfect start. And I think that we will be seeing her like one day become the higher level champion. But I hate to break it for her, or break it to her. Like that was not tonight was not the night. But anyway, this is where we got. They start going for wrist locks until Bailey start winning. This is where we got Lyra managed to get off her. This is where she was like about to hit the SOS with them going like in the facing each other the other side until Bailey got trying to get out of it, but ends up getting headlock slammed by the Valkyrie. This is where Lyra then it's like what you want to do to sell this, like who should get the offensively, like you want to play with that rock paper scissors or play a hand war or hand grabbing war, I mean to say, or should we do like patty cake? But this is where Bailey didn't settle for the second option. This is where then Bailey kind of won without kicking her in the gut, but bringing her down by doing a arm war. This is where then she only got two failed attempts with Jessica Carr trying to go for a pin, but two straight times, like what's her name, Lyra Valkyria always keep kicking out of it. But that's where we got. This is where I got what's her name? Lyra Valkyria slams Bailey right into the middle of the ring. Start going for an arm drag lock, but this is where Bailey got her into a headlock. This is where we got Bailey just thrown right to the right corner side, gets shoulder tackled by the Valkyrie. This is where she's trying to pounce onto Lyra, but this is where she smartly rolled out of the way so she won't get. This is where Bailey's like, "Oh, you're very clever." Like, of course you are, because you're the complete opposite of Roxanne or Roxy over there. Like, and even if something doesn't work in your favor, you still don't complain. And this is where we got Bailey then grab onto the leg, onto what's her name, onto Lyra Valkyria. This is where Pat McAfee, for some weird reason, I thought this was George Kettle for a second, even though he don't sound like the former punter of the Indianapolis Colts. Just because they're both like NFL players doesn't mean they're the same people. But it's where he pointed out her Bailey's age, which is 35 years old, which I was like, why is you pointing that out? I think she's about to be 34, does she? Or 36, not 30. You don't count backwards. You count forward when it comes to age. What am I thinking right now? But anyways, I was like, I think she's about to be 36, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong, assassinators. But that's where we got Bailey then flips Lyra Valkyria right into the corner. This is where Lyra hits the right hand. But this is where she gets kicked right to the midsection. This is where she also gets snapmared. This is where she gets, this is where she was facing Bailey, her back was facing Bailey. This is where Bailey will run to the right corner. But this is where Lyra Valkyria tried to go for a backslide, but this is where we got what's her name. Live Valkyria got her into a wheelbarrow flip right into the corner row. This is where Bailey tried to get a forearm strike right into the face onto Lyra Valkyria. This is where Bailey's like, yeah, I'm not playing today, especially when my man is here. I want to show my strength. Which I don't know why did she try to be all manly tonight. Well, hopefully I'm not insulting nobody for saying that. Like, regardless, like whether it's just a name or gender or whatever it is, I'm not trying to be offensive. I'm just you get the point. But anyways, where Lyra Valkyria goes for the A baseball sliding kick, knocking out Bailey off her feet, with live out here hyping up the fans, with her being the underdog of this match. But even for underdogs, sometimes they have to fall. But before that even happened, the powerful force of all professional wrestling came on. It's where one of the commercials came on, which it had me reminded me of like George Kettle, like because it sounds very similar to like the song that has something to do with Bailey, and also the guy that sings the song, which already mentioned his name on the podcast, looks like a shorter version of the tight end of the NFL the tight end of the 49ers tight end of the NFL, I meant to say. This is where we got the that's where we got Bailey then hit a back suplex right onto Live Rakir when the adverts came on because he is the most powerful force after all. Here's where Bailey got back up on the top rope. He tried to throw with the big macho woman elbow drop because she wanted to show Ketty Chips in the right side of the audience that she's a macho woman, which I hope I don't get no restrictions by saying that. That's where Lyra Valkyrie got the knees right up like if she was Io Sky earlier, like she did to Liv Morgan. This is where then we got Lyra, then go for a headlock, go for going to the top ropes and middle ropes, right to the upper left corner side, like she would go for running bulldog. But really, she was just hitting a tornado DDT in transition, but Bailey hit the Bailey to belly, but Valkyria kicks out at Jessica Carr's count at 2.8. This is where Bailey's like, I just don't understand how in the hell did she kick out of that. This is where we got Valkyria. Then they're like, yeah, like, you know the old saying goes, like I may be down, but I'm not out. Here's where Bailey was like, but not until now with a forearm strike, but this is where Live Valkyrie started fighting back with a forearm strike, running back in the face, and start going back and forth. Like with the fans start just genuinely cheering for both women because they are baby faces. They're just trying to get a shot at the elimination chamber match. This is where we got Bailey then counter out of a flying head scissor maneuver, turned to a Russian leg sweep, go for a pin, but this is where Lyra then kicks out at 2.8, if I'm not mistaken. But this is where again, like what was 8 or no, it was 9. But anyway, this is where we got Bailey, then picks her up either way. This is where she tried to go for a Rose Plant, I believe. But this is where before she can attempt to go that move, this is where we got Lyra push her, try to push her right to the right corner side. But this is where she ends up getting thrown instead. This is where Lyra Valkyrie, no, Bailey did got thrown right to the corner. But this is where we got, this is where Bailey gets flipped right over to the right, or no, Bailey flipped over Lyra right to the right corner side, hit a jawbreaker onto the former NXT Women's Champion and current Women's Intercontinental Champion. This is where she tried to drape her right to the corner like she's the female Randy Orton. Like, well, the thing is, she draped her turned to a suplex, like, and I guess she was trying to compare herself to the Viper because considering they said, because rumor has it that she's the locker room leader of the women's locker room, and like how much Randy Orton is in the men's side. But that's where a lot of Akira countered out of it, turned to a tornado DDT, which was a double whammy because inside the ring earlier she did it to her there. But even for being out the ring and the outside, like she still did it on the other side. It's where she then hits a official woman suplex. Like this is where then she grabs Bailey back in the ring. This is where she hits another official woman superplex. This is where we got her trying to go for a pin, but it's where Bailey amazingly kicked out at 2.999999999, double triple 9 minus 0.1 away from being 3. This is where Live Valkyrie drag her right to the corner to go for the top rope. But Bailey stopped her when she was like 3/4 way up. This is where she's like no, like you're not getting up there, but it was too late because this is where Live Valkyrie pushed her right off and she got fully right up there at 100%. But Bailey then actually go for a right hand. This is where Lyra go for a right back at her. This is where we got Bailey to going up right into a Bailey to belly. But this is where we got Lyra Valkyria who's like, oh no, but this is where we got Bailey to try to go for Bailey to belly. But this is where she getting hit by Lyra Valkyria because just like Samoans, her head's made out of steel, which I think that's what all I'm not trying to sound very inappropriate about Irish people. And I shouldn't double time because I'm part Irish along with being Native American and African American. Like but that's a different story for a different day. But my point is not trying to sound racist or offensive, but I noticed like wrestlers like her and Becky Lynch and Sheamus, like they have their heads made out of steel. their heads are made out of steel, like the Samoans. Which a fellow YouTuber of mine said, like every Samoan wrestler, like it don't fail, whether if it's Rikishi or the Usos or Roman Reigns or The Rock, like their heads, like when a wrestler hits a headbutt or a punch, like they could, like their body, their other body parts, like have been left a number of bruises or some kind of a pain that's enter into their body parts. Or internal, let me say, it's internal, I should say, more likely the proper term to use. But this is where we got Lyra to go for the one-winged Valkyrie, but this is where Bayley countered into the Bayley to Bell. But this is where she gets countered into what they call a wheelbarrow roll-up, which is kind of the most devastating move of all professional wrestling. But Bayley kicked out 2.6. This is where we got, what's her name, Lyra then try to go for another maneuver, but it's where she gets flipped right, back foot right to the back of the head onto the ropes. Lyra Valkyrie like just grabbed onto her neck and head because that was got the most impact. Here's where Bayley hits the what they call the rose plant, but this was the second time that was denied by Lyra, which it was the double whammy curse, I guess you could say. This is where then we got Lyra then counter try to go for a hammerlock flip right between her legs, go for a pin. But this is where Bayley outsmarted her, hit a roll up of her own, get the 1, 2, 3, and man, you should see George Kettle's reaction. Well, all the jokes aside, well, I didn't got to them yet, but you should have seen Kettle Chips' reaction. He got up right up on the seat, started jumping with excitement, started clapping, and I'm like, gee, I wonder why he's so excited when Bayley won the match. Like, even though they admit that they are Bay buddies, but there's something more than just being friends, like into this duo. And I hope I don't sound like a hypocrite because considering some of y'all are gonna call me out for being kind of biased in the past before. But anyways, this got me very got me very it got me dying with laughter when I saw this like for myself. And I was like, yeah, they're definitely gonna be celebrating, like even though they're not in their hometown of San Francisco or San Jose. Let me know, assassinators, in the comments down below. I think Baby's from San Jose. And I think because they're both because it's kind of in the Bay Area in the northern part of California. So I guess that makes sense. Like that, yeah, I guess you can say that they're good friends, but I think they're more than just friends. And I think with all nothing against the Kettle family, I think that his wife is something on the side, like along with like it's just a little appetizer, like along with Bailey, because he wants a woman that's worth $1 million, physically and financially. But let me know about my theory in the comments down below. I'm going a little bit too far on my jokes and my phrases and whatnot. Like I think that Bailey is the full course meal, like into the relationship kind of menu, I guess you could say. While his wife is the appetizer, like Booker T would say. But anyways, hope we don't get no backlash for saying that. But anyways, changing the subject a bit, I guess until the end of the podcast, I continue to clown on the women's wrestler that's worth $1 million, if not 900K. Well, she was until like sources from Wrestling Insiders start from insiders like that's looking into the wrestling business, like claims that that at least the mid card wrestlers are getting paid at least $1 million. So I guess she is $1 million Bayley. And then some just tells me like hopefully that Kettle Chip stays on the 49ers because it seems like that he's gonna be traded. Like if they cannot find an agreement with the MVP tight end of the 49ers. But anyways, let's shift gears now before I start getting backlash from the fans and maybe even Kettle Chips' wife on the side. But it's where we got a vignette of Penta Seattle Miedo that came in and then did a hype video of saying he wants to do an open challenge on anybody. Like even like doing another open challenge to anybody that wants to face the flaming luchador with flames all around him, which that kind of sounds way too generic. This is where he even take a shot at both Pete Dunne and Ludwig Kaiser, which some said that some say that that him and Pete Dunne are going to be. Pete Dunne and Ludwig Kaiser are going to be forming some kind of a alliance, especially with them feuding with the former other company's tag team champions and the former Lucha Underground star, I guess you could call him. But this is where we got Jackie Redmond was in a backstage interview with Ludwig Kaiser because there was some backstage issues, which that's a complete understatement. Because Vince Russo pointed out that he was not basically selling what exactly Penta did to him, like and in his match a week ago, because like Penta hit the sacrifice, the arm breaking sacrifice maneuver, which that's the signature move of Penta. But yeah, but it's where that like just minutes later, barely thing happened. Like when Pete Dunne distracted the luchador star, it's where Ludwig Kaiser started punching him and started beating him with that exact same arm, like if he didn't even bend it or hit him hard. Like if it's the other hand, that's the normal one that he got bit. Like and then and yeah, and and he also pointed out that Kaiser. Sold is a good seller in WWE, and this was unexcusable for Kaiser to do this to Penta. It looks like he has some backstage heat with the luchador himself. But hopefully, like if this is true, like and if like which I'm not gonna hurry up and believe it, but you gotta wonder, like because like he is a good seller. Like I mean, he even sold Gunther's chops like a king. So I don't understand what to say about this, but I'm just gonna leave it like it is. But that's where Ludwig Kaiser then was like here here this was Ludwig Kaiser like that was just the beginning. Like that was just the beginning for like 1,000 and 1,515 time, which that's 1515 if you think about it. It's where Ludwig Kaiser I'm not gonna stop until you're down for good, down and out for good, let me friend. That's where it gets interrupted by his future partner by saying, like, "Hey, listen, Ludwig, like I don't listen to you before, like." He was like I would never, like you already know, I wouldn't help no one like you, like considering our path against one another, like, and I still wouldn't help you, even though we have a common enemy, in our hands, like in this brand in particular. This is where the This was this was Ludwig Kaiser saying like you think I really need your help? Like no, look at like you see what I did to Penta. This is where Pete Dunne asked him like, do you want to see what I'm gonna do to Penta next week? Like when he was talking about what he did to him last week. Like this is where Pete Dunne saying stay out of my way. This is where then Ludwig Kaiser okay if that's what you want. It's like I'm a fully like 100. Well, 100 million or 100.4 million% that I'm going to be out of your way, which I don't really believe him immediately. But maybe there's a partial belief that he probably won't. Like, given the fact that they could be teaming together, like if the rumors turn out to be true, which if they're going to be leading into this, but let me know in the comments down below if you think they're true and do you think they're going to be align these two into an alliance at least, like with them, like having the same enemy, like in maybe even general and then some any other general I'll say things that they probably have that's common. But until then, we're just gonna have to see next week on the next week's Monday Night Raw, which is gonna be February 17th, if I'm not mistaken. But this is where we got. That's where we got. What's her name? What the Alpha Academy was uh was comforting Lara Valkyria because she was a little bit devastated that she didn't qualify in the women's elimination chamber match. This is where they're like, you'll get another shot like that again. This is where Lara Valkyria like, but I want it now though. I can't even understand what you're talking about, but this is where we heard a very hilarious chuckle, which was Brutus Creed, which I think he's starting to be the Joker of WWE because Seth Rollins is starting to be more of a serious version of himself because considering CM Punk is around, just don't tell him I mentioned him by name. Like, even though I'm somewhat of a fan of CM Punk, but I'm also a fan of Rollins as well. So I'm just trying to be the peacemaker here. But anyways, that's where we got the American made, which 3/4 of them And Lord and I found out start trash talking on the live, like, oh, that's very touching from your friends, Lyra. Like from the women's intercontinental championship. Yeah, like I thought you were like a solo act that don't need nobody's help. Like I was almost like like 3/4 full of impressed of your work here ever since you got here in WWE. But now, like after you lost your big match against Bailey, you're gonna be coached by these three clowns. And that's where then we got what that Brutus Creed was laughing like a goofy hypocrite because yeah we know he's a clown like as well. That's where we got Ivy now was like yeah, like that's where it's like have you ever thought and this where before she even mentioned like what Lyra's thinking this where Lyra's like oh yeah you need to stay the hell out of my business and like if you have a problem we can do this in the ring very soon. That's where then we got this word, and what's her name, Ivy now, kind of sounds a bit insulting, even though she is from America. This word, she was like, I'm gonna actually have we're gonna have a first ever women's intercontinental champion that's naturally born in this nation, which is in America. This word, she was like, and it's gonna be American made, like when she was proclaiming that she will be a women's intercontinental champion. But it's where tonight that the American made Creed brothers have their title match they have to worry about. But yeah, kudos to the women's match as well, along with the main event and the women's tag team match, which WWE was. Even though we got like about 4 matches on tonight's show, like if it's general manager mode of 2024 or WWE 2K24, let me rephrase. But that's why we got the rock star Hardy was there, like in attendance, along with a couple other musicians that was in attendance on this particular edition of Monday Night Raw. But that's where we got AJ Styles was what made his appearance after like running the loop with Kaiser heading out to the ring before the Powerful Force came on. That's where fans were welcomed back with open arms by chanting AJ Styles, like from him being long absent for months. Like, and plus he moved from SmackDown to Raw because the last time we saw him was on the show was on SmackDown. But since they had the last week of transfer window, last week Adam Pearce then announced that they brought in AJ Styles for an exchange, I believe, for Drew McIntyre, and it kind of teased the feud between him and Braun Breaker, but let me tell you, unfortunately, it looks like that's not going to be in that direction at this moment. That's why I just thought, like, yeah, man, I missed you guys. This was like I'm having major deja vu going on right now with this ovation. It was like because 4 months ago, like I came to this building in particular with the biggest smile on my face because this was my stomping ground. And that was one. And I was wondering what he was referring to. Not finally checked. Now I finally remembered. Like, and now because of this segment in particular, they were in Nashville. So wink, wink, nudge, nudge. He used to been like wrestling in these parts of the road, like because it's from the company that WWE is partnering with, like, and now partnering with which they formerly used to be arch rivals, which has been Total Nonstop Action or TNA for short, whatever you want to call it. This is where then AJ Styles then continues like I gotta get my career back on track, like, and then this is where then AJ Styles starts checking in, and this is where like and then I get injured, and then and this is where fans are chanting. So saying welcome back. Right after he said he got injured, this was like we don't have to worry about you being injured. This is where AJ Styles. And that's where then AJ Styles like I'm back here. You're right, and I still have something to prove you. Like it's hard, like to get back here. Like it was extremely difficult. Like if anything else worth doing, like it's gonna be hard. Like it's gonna be difficult because that's why they call it hard work for a good reason. Because once you do it, like you're gonna get the perfect outcome that you've been waiting for, waiting to get at from the beginning. Like and you're gonna be glad that you did hard work. But this word we got AJ Styles. Then this word like just like Red. And this was like, and I'm standing in this ring where I started where I made a name for myself in this business in Nashville, Tennessee. And this is where the fans started cheering on the phenomenal one. This is where This is where we got the former TNA and WWE World Champion that continues like he got a long to-do list that he needs to be catching up to do because the first, like he went to remind to a long road, like that he is still the phenomenal AJ Styles. And this where then he ends up getting interrupted by a man that he did not have nothing in his mind. And I would assume it would have been the other second generation wrestler that's probably like a year younger than this one in particular that came out to interrupt the returning phenomenal one. This is where it was none other than Dirty Dominic himself, which the fans are booing him. This word in Dirty Dominic. You call yourself the phenomenal one. It was like AJ before he can even say his last name, which fans start booing him. It's where he called him AJ Loser, which I started cracking up on. I wonder where he got that line from. Which is, well, either way, he's getting the silver trophy of the night, second place. But it's where every time I try to speak, this is where fans will not let him speak. This is where Carlito tried to stop him by shouting at him let my boy speak. Like, this is not cool. And then this is where then Dirty Dominic Mysterio then said, like, I know, AJ, like, it's been quite some time. Like, time the last time we seen each other, like, things have changed since you've been gone. And I was like Dirty Dom, like, he hadn't been gone for that long. Like, and even for him being on SmackDown for a little while, like, I believe he knew what was going on, at least, like, partially, just by watching, putting on the television channel. And that's where then AJ Styles is like, made a joke about, made, that's where then after Dirty Dominic pointed out that the Judgment Day is totally different, and like, and two former members are no longer in the group. Like, if he'd been like in a coma for the last how many months? Probably like 6, 7 months, yeah. Like, if he's been in a coma for at least for the past 6, 7 months, but which he wasn't, because as a matter of fact, like, even though he was a little bit absent at that time in the Judgment Day split, he managed to came back, but he got injured yet again, unfortunately. But that's where AJ Styles, like what they call reassured him he knew what was going on. Like, he already know by the knowledge of the power of television, and also AJ Styles did poke fun at him about where's Rhea at, like, with some sarcasm. And it, like, but saying, is your mommy Rhea Ripley anywhere around here? That's where fans started cracking up, which I started dying with laughter myself. But I gotta admit, like, that was very extremely hilarious. I was not expecting to do this, even though it's goofy wrestling. But I'm giving it the platinum trophy of the night, and I wonder when the last time I did gave a platinum trophy for the goofiest wrestlers of the night, like, especially in particular. But that'll probably be in a different video for a different day. But this is where we got AJ Styles to continue on the like with I mean, look, like, all I see here, is a guy like in purple skinny jeans, which I never saw before, like, which he was pointing out to Carlito, which is the first time I saw him even wear skinny jeans, let alone being purple, like with the Judgment Day color, with the I say darkish but yet bit what they call it, smoky light. But that's what AJ Styles like, yeah, and you, Dirty Dominic Mysterio, like, again, the man that lies. That's where then what's his name? And that's where then what's his name? Pat McAfee's like, yeah, that's fully true, and I have to totally agree on that. But this is where the Dirty Dominic says, oh yeah, like, if you're gonna be speaking these facts with this fingers curled, even though he didn't actually do that. This is where then he shut up. Okay, like, you might as well continue if you have anything else to say to me in my face. This is where he just sounds like, as a matter of fact, I got a long list, but I'll keep this short and sweet and to the point. This is where he just sounds like this thing, like, but despite that, like, I'm very inspired of working with you. Like, I'm very tortured to say this, like, but you worked hard here. Like, you did this the honest way. It's about to be your 5th year anniversary of being a pro wrestler here. Like you're not like that. Like, yeah. And this was like, but just to let you know, Dirty Dom, like, you are always is gonna be Rey Mysterio's, like, punk ass kid. And that's where the Dirty Dominic got like, that's where fans were the opposite, are cheering AJ Styles when AJ Styles gave a chuckle. Like, what are you gonna do about it, little boy? And this way, try hit a strike, but this way he started blocking. This way, like about to go for a grappling war. But this is where Carlito pulled him back, which was probably the smart peacemaking move that the Caribbean Cool has ever done. But this is where then AJ Styles duck out of the way, hit the Pele kick right into the head. This is where Dirty Dominant starts stomping on him, started trying to get the upper hand onto the Phenomenal One. This is where he got him down. This is where he started slapping his shoulders, slapping his hand on his shoulders like if he's his Uncle Eddie that everybody claims that that's actually his biological father. But despite him having the mullet and maybe the size like him, that doesn't mean that he's his father. That was again, like I'm gonna tell you, like in probably in 100 different ways to for anybody to comprehend this. But that's where we got AJ Styles. Then we hit a big old right hand right onto to Dirty Dominic. This is where we got Carlito came in and trying to stop him from chasing him out, getting him back in the ring. Is where he paid the price because AJ Styles hit a phenomenal forearm right onto Carlito, right from the right corner side, where Dirty Dominic said, what just happened? Like, no, it's like, no, like, and it's all my fault. Like, but him, no one to admit to the fans saying it out loud, but he just looked at it in his eyes. Like my buddy Carl like sacrificed himself so I could survive from AJ Styles and since it wasn't Braun Breaker, I think this is probably the next best feud to put the Phenomenal One in. Like now that he's back in WWE, do you think this would help? Do you think this will help benefit Dirty Dominic Mysterio, like with being more of a big time star, of being in a feud with someone that's a former world champion, maybe potentially beat them in a match, like what if it's at Elimination Chamber or even on a future episode of Monday Night Raw? But that's where we got them replaying like what happened earlier, like in the beginning of the show, which they showed in a big screen that it will be main event Jey Uso and Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship. Which I don't know which night is going to main event, but I think it's going to be maybe should be the second night. Considering like we've seen Roman Reigns been in the main event in the second night way too much, and even if they don't have Roman, even if they do have Roman Reigns main event on that night, I really wouldn't mind it, even though he's not here right now. But that doesn't mean he won't be here by the time that Elimination Chamber is over during when it's happening. That's where I got Jackie Redmond was right up onto the back of the audience, like in the interviewing Seth Rollins, which she was her special guest at this time in the arena. This way, Jackie Redmond to thank the visionary for being at this time again. Jackie's this that's where Jackie Redmond was like, yeah, both you and I would agree, like it's looking very stacked right now at the Elimination Chamber, like because it has Jonathan and Cena, but when Seth Rollins was very excited about seeing Cena because he wants to be part of Cena's journey before he hangs up his George for good. But when she mentioned CM Punk, he started clicking away, like she just said something said something about Seth Rollins allergic to, or even like something that's like a horrible smell, like if somebody either just farted or took out some expired I'll say cheese that must have been into the refrigerator for for the past 2 or 3 years. I don't know what am I even saying right now, but this is where we got Seth Rollins then. This was dramatic. This was like in dramatic. Seth Rollins like yeah, this was like yeah. We also got Logan Paul and Rey Mysterio, but we also got Damian Priest and what's the name? Damian Priest, Braun Strowman, and Jacob Fatu this Friday, and then final last but not least, but moreover with you, because you're going to be facing Finn Balor to get a spot and your own opportunity is the sixth spot on the Elimination Chamber. Like when you take on Finn Balor in the next week, oh yeah. Like I feel. It was like, oh, I feel pretty great. This word, then when Jackie Redmond tried to ask, this word. That's where Seth Rollins then reminded her that they are live in Nashville, like in the probably the best and probably in one of the best top 10 cities in America. And it's like in they're in Monday Night Rollins, which that's true because they're in this building which Raw was hosted. There's a Seth Rollins. I'm gonna tell you why I'm gonna be putting my ticket to resume, and it's gonna get clearer and clearer and clear. Like by the second, like in tonight, like Jey Uso, like he made the best decision and decided to take it on Gunther for the belt, like for the World Heavyweight Championship belt that I put on the map, back on the map. He's like, what's that mean? Is all eyes are now on Mr. American Nightmare on the WWE Championship, Cody Rhodes. And then there's all eyes in the elimination chip and all eyes to the man that's going to be winning that chamber contest. And that man is none other than I'm gonna start off with the nicknames. He's the visionary, the revolutionary, and his name is Seth freaking out with the fans saying him off like if he's in the ring cutting a promo like you normally do. But that's where Finn Balor's like, yeah, you're right, Steph. Like when Seth Rollins was shocked and gave a cold glance right on the Finn Balor, or the Prince of the Judgment Day. Like if he's CM Punk, that's where he like if he just came out of the blue, but luckily he wasn't. But he's like, it's the guy that he has history with. With some fans will claim that Seth Rollins is the reason why Balor never had a chance to hold on to the heavyweight championship that he had the first time back like almost 9 years ago. But it's where the Finn Balor let him know that all eyes are really on him. But the only thing he's seeing is the downfall, like where exactly Seth Rollins is going to be placed at in the next 7 days. That's where Finn Balor is but he reminded, bro, like in the next week's debut. And then we saw several lose his mind there, and he lost his mind at the Royal Rumble, which he started getting more personal. Which, like, if he was trying to successfully trying to piss off and provoke the visionary and former world champion, well, he was doing exactly a very tremendous job on it because Seth Rollins took off the shades. You know what that means when he takes off the shades, take off the cool, I'll say, better seeing devices, I guess you could say. That's where Finn Balor's like, I'm gonna beat you in the qualifier, and I'm gonna win the elimination champ, and I'm gonna go after Cody Rhodes for the championship that only held for a day, and that'll be at the showcase event of the year. This is where it's like, this is where it's like, what you got to say on the matter of Rollins? And this is where Rollins is like, yeah, you really believe that, huh? Like, with me standing here, like, you claiming that I'm standing in your way, correct? I'm chuckling. This is where it's like, Finn, like, we go far back, way back, like, once or twice, like this WrestleMania, SummerSlam, and everywhere in between. Like we sort of seen, like the fans already know our history. Like we go way back, all the way from 2016, at least in WWE's perspectives. That's where then you like, that's where Seth Rollins was like, how like I don't have anything to show, but I got some news for you. Like, let me take care of my business that I need to take care of. And when I do that, like, I got some loose ends to try tied up with Cody Rhodes. Like, ever since he came back here, and the way I see it, Finn, it's you, like, that's standing in my way, pal. And this where then Seth Rollins, but Mike, like if he's an Aussie rather than an Irishman, this where he's like, you're not gonna be they're not gonna be standing in my way at all. Like when I start stomping you after stomping you, this is where then he gave a chuckle. This is where he won the promo battle. And it will be next week. It will be another qualifier match between Finn Balor and Seth Rollins with the fans start singing this song. Oh wow. But this is where we got Logan Paul and Rey Mysterio were getting ready in their respective locker rooms. With them, getting prepared to what the other has that's probably coming for them. But that's where we got Pat McAfee was hilariously showing like a bald AI image of himself, which I'm calling himself a bald idiot. And yeah, this is why this guy is the best commentator in all of WWE. But this is where they get another one. But this time he had a mustache. He only got hair in the back of his head, looking like a certain X-Man, like over the other company I used to wrestle in this promotion in particular, which I'm not sure if I should name about it, even if it's his WWE name. But yeah, it looked like him if he had some hair in the back of his head. That's what Michael Cole would call like Sipowicz or what's his name, Bayhigh, whatever you want to call it. But, yeah, excuse me for a moment. What is he doing? If you want to watch something out there, try to use can. Okay. Hey, Google. Hey, Alexa. Hey, Siri. Set my alarm for 8.
We got Google, Alexa, and Siri.
I don't know which bitch I'm talking
Alright. Hey Google. Hey Alexa. Hey Siri.
Oh, that's Siri. Okay, I'm trying. Okay. Before well, drinking does it. All right, assassinators, I'm back here. But after showing them little funny images from the commentators, here's where AJ Styles tried to ask Adam Pearce for a match against Dirty Dominic, which Adam Pearce try to make sure he make it clear and confirm it before he makes it official, which AJ Styles gave his consent that he wants a match against Dirty Dominic. And like, what's the name? Adam Pearce like, okay, that'll be settled because next week it will be you and the dirty little critter, I guess you could call him, like in the match like next week. And this where, but this where they got, but this where we got Golden Tate, like the former Super Bowl the Super Bowl 48 champ, I believe that's what he was in attendance on Monday Night Raw with his kids. But that's where we got the World Tag Team Championships were on the line, which the fans started chanting "You suck" to the American-made Creed brothers, which Brutus Creed actually wouldn't stop laughing like if he's the Joker of WWE. But that's where this World Tag Team Championship match was just pretty good. Like it was like probably what it need, probably what it needed to be when it comes to the fight. But the finish, not so much. Like it was absolutely unnecessary. Even if they did not want none of them to be buried, like they could have found a different way to continue this feud. But that's where we got the match start off with Ivar and Brutus Creed. Is where he got him right to the corner, elbowing him until he gets chopped by the Joker of WWE, which I'm not sure if Gunther was very happy about it, despite him being a harmless colleague. But he's probably going to let him know who's the king of this brand. But this is where then we got Brutus Creed tags in Julius Creed to start going for a stomp. It's where then we got Brutus start hitting the shoulder right into the midsection onto what's his name onto Ivar while Julius then hits an elbow strike right into the face. Here's where Brutus Star hits him right hand. Or no, left hand actually, I believe, but it's where he goes for a fist bump tag. I believe we were mocking the War Raiders. That's where Ivar managed to start fighting back and it's where then he tags in Eric. This is where he body slammed Julius Creed. Whoa, what's his name? Eric then picks up Ivar and uses him as a human weapon onto Julius Creed and a senton on him into the body slam. Here's where we got Ivar hit a crossbody onto running crossbody onto what's his name onto Brutus. This is where we got what's his name Eric then hits the power bomb onto Julius, but it's where Julius then kicks out at 2 point. Was it like seven barely, hardly? But this is where then we got. But this is where then we got what's his name? But this is where then we got the powerful force of all Professor Redsley came on. But once the Adverts came on, this is where we got the Creed brothers were on top. And that's where then we got Julius Creed in what looked like a Big Bang catastrophe fireman's body drop onto what's his name? Onto Eric. That's where he only got him a 2.4 count. But that's where we got Brutus Creed trying to go over him. But that's where we got. That's where this ended up with what's his name? Julius ended up in him head first right into the corner. Tags in what's his name? Julius tags in Brutus Creed. This is where we got. This is where Brutus Creed got to go for a pin, but this is where Eric goes for a pinfall. This is where he go for a headlock right onto Eric. This is where Eric just started going. Eric tried to go for a tag, but this is where we got Brutus Creed trying to hang on to his arm in the left. But this is where we got Eric gets a big old right hand, try to go for continue trying to find ways to get the tag, but it was looking useless at first until Eric started repeatedly hitting some punches, which that was basically the answer. This is where we got Eric that finally comes in, hits a back body drop onto Brutus Creed. This is where then he hits a flat sidewalk slam, right, with him hitting his belly first, right onto the canvas, while along with him sidewalk slamming him. This is where he got him into a what they call a snapmare position with Ivar going for a crossbody onto the American made member. This is where we got Ivar try to go for a running hip attack, but this is where he ends up getting tagged. I mean, this is where he moved right out of the way, which was a smart move from Bruce. But this is where then he ends up getting hit with a a sin? The senton dive is where he gets hit with a roundhouse kick, wheel kick by Eric. This is where Eric starts shouting war right into the ring. Starts the war, war, war. The fans were saying along with him. This is where he started a war right here with this Bronco Buster that he did in the upper left corner side, the pound turnbuckle onto what's his name? Onto Brutus Creed. He hits the double under power bomb. This is where he tried to go for a pin, but this is where Michael Cole made a huge blunder, like onto this commentary, which he must be getting too comfortable of getting creative freedom because he accidentally called it a double underhook power slam rather than a power bomb until Brutus Creed kicked out of it. He apologized to everybody that heard him say that. This is where he's like, it's power bomb with some clarity explanation onto the way he said it. This is where we got. This is where we got what's name? Ivar go for a Bronco Buster. This is where we got like they showed the replay. This is where they showed him tagging in Eric, which he did a knee strike on the Julius Creed. This looked like they're about to retain right here when they hit the Viking Experience right onto who is the British Creed, but it ended up being a kick out of nowhere, which I don't know how did he kicked out at 2 point, what was it? 2.8 was it? But it's where Ivar starts shaking his head like, I cannot believe he just kicked out of that. This is where he did a fist bump tag to Eric. This is where Ivar came back in and they tried to grab on to what's his name? Julius Creed's no, it was British Creed's arm, but it's where he tried to go for a tag back to Eric, tried to go to a German suplex, Viking springboard clothesline jiggy maneuver. But it's where we get what's his name? Julius Creed came in, saved his partner, like getting hit with the finisher. That definitely would not bring him down. But it seemed like the Viking Experience is starting to be their signature maneuver, and they hardly went with that maneuver. And this word had me see like why exactly they stopped using that maneuver on, at least as the finisher. But this is where then we got what's his name? Brutus Creed did an exploder suplex, or what's it, Olympic slam to pay homage to their idol, the Olympic gold medalist Kurt Angle. Like this is where they try to go for a pin, but unfortunately it only got him a 2 point. I'll say 3 count is where he ends up tagging in Julius Creed. Is where he tries to grab on the Brutus, but he gets back elbowed and then forward punch by Ivar. This is where he goes for a springboard flip with his legs right, back legs are flipping right up, right into the corner ropes. And then he hits a back elbow, double back elbow to be the exact. Like with because Ivar have some little athleticism despite being weighing over 300 pounds. And then the way he did it was like your boy the assassin would do it when he goes for a springboard flip and then do a kick, but he did a back elbow instead. So that's the only thing different about it. This is where we got Ivar then going up right up on the top rope. This is where then Ivy now come in and create a diversion onto cause no distraction onto Ivar. This is where then Julius Creed came, hits an explosive suplex, while his little brother Brutus hit a moonsault. This is where trying to go for a pin, but this is where they ends up getting stopped by Eric because he came to save the day uh, before they lose their tag titles in their reign, as those titles in particular would come to an end in this way. But luckily, Eric was there to save the day, or else there would have been the case. But this way, then we got Eric eventually got tagged in. It's ready the double hand chop to the chest on the British Crew. And their fans are chanting, "This is awesome!" And as much as I'd like to give it a higher trophy right now, and maybe if it had a good finish of convincing one that we can get over on, I would have given it at least second place spot, like tying the women's match between Lyra and Bailey. But I agree, this was a pretty good contest. It finally showed, Triple H finally showing that the tag team wrestling could get better on the Raw brand. It just need to give some love and care and paying attention, on what wrestler they have in the division onto this roster in particular. And I guess that's probably the reason why they're starting to do these weekend overcuts, to see who should they keep and who should they basically give the axe to, even if they don't want to, but they're trying to do what's best for business. And I guess that was for the best. And then probably these guys that they gave in the pink slip to, this wasn't part of the plans, because they didn't know they probably thought it would be better to do it rather than wasting good talent and not what they call not just sitting and catering for all many weeks to come. But this is where we got the Viking, or not the Viking, the War Raiders, then almost won with that German suplex Viking close or war machine maneuver until that Julius Creed, with all the nerves in the world, to wax Eric in the face with his own belt, which is one half the World Tag Team Championship. I mean, talk about insult to injury. But anyway, this is where we got. That's where they start raising. That's where they end up getting. That's where they get hit. That's where Eric ends up getting hit again once they took care of Ivar as well. When Brutus Creed grabbed on the other half of the World Tag Team Championship and threw it right to the face. This is where they hold up those tag belts, saying well, we're still champion at the end of this match, even though even if this the rules of the match states that if the champions does get disqualified, they still lose their tag titles, but that did not happen. It was the other way around. They lost by disqualification, but they act like that they won by DQ, I should say, basically. But what are your thoughts on this? And I understand WWE trying to continue this feud, but they could have found another way to do this. Whether if it was a double count out or a no contest, and they could turn this into some kind of a no DQ stipulation. If it at least ended in that way, I'll probably give it the second. But still, it was a good match, so I'm gonna give it the blue ribbon fourth place spot on the night, which was top 4 of really great action packed matches that was on the card, if it's general manager mode, how your boy Super Ninja Austin would book it, except for this match finish in particular. But that's why we got Carlito was very disappointed that when he had a big headache for him getting attacked by AJ Styles. That's where the Dirty Dominic Mysterio was pretending nothing did just happen with him and AJ, while Liv Morgan was doing the same, like nothing just happened between her and Raquel against the damage control. This is what Finn Balor's like. So this is how y'all run the ship around here. Listen to Did anybody heard my phrase before? Like, which I say like about over like 1,000 times now. Like, if you listen to Finn, you'll win. But it seems like that meant it is not even working. Even if they want to do exactly what he phrased to do, like which is if you listen to Finn, you win. Is where Dirty Dominic's like, listen, who cares about damage control right now? They were they, but the thing is none of them, including Neo Sky, are not qualified into the match. This is where the what's her name, Dirty Dominic Mysterio, rest assured, Finn Balor that what's her name, rest assured that Raquel's gonna get the fifth spot, if I'm not mistaken. No, the fifth, no, the fourth place, the sixth place spot, yeah. All right, which is next week on Raw. This is where then you'll get a guaranteed title. So things are gonna be turning around for the benefits of the Judgment Day. That's where then Finn Balor's like, but you know what? I think it's nothing but excuses from the mouth of the guy that AJ Styles just made a fool out of. This is where Tony Thomas said, this is where then it was like, no, like maybe you're not no, like I think that you're actually the fool, like for not actually helping us when I mean, no, he didn't say exactly like that, but he said no, I think you're the fool that you didn't came out there to help me and Carly with our AJ Styles problem, and this where then they start going back and forth, like before, this where tensions were about to get more higher than ever, but this where that's where Finn Balor then said that's fine because if you started this difference between AJ, then you can finish it with AJ. And this is where Dirty Dominic's like fine, maybe I should add a new member again, and maybe I should kick you to the. And then how about if JD was there, I don't have to worry. This is where the JD you know, and that's what Liv Morgan's yeah, but we're running a bit low since JD has sustained that injury. This is where then Finn Balor was like, no, we don't need no member. We're perfectly fine. I'm gonna beat Seth Rollins this week, and I'm gonna be qualified in the championship, and then I'm going to WrestleMania, and I'm gonna be a world champion, a championship that I've been waiting to win back ever since that mishap in 2016, which was almost 9 years ago. But it's where then he walked right out of the clubhouse, the new clubhouse, which was relocated, of course. But it's where Dirty Dominic trying to help, trying to what's that called? Trying to heal the wounded forehead or the side forehead of Liv Morgan while uh, while they switched cameras with the damage control was about to leave because they was wondering. But this is where Rhea Ripley trying to paid Leo Sky back by purposely running into her, saying what's up to EO and Dakota. This is where and we was like, I don't, I don't owe you like. First of all, I don't owe you a damn thing, EO. So you might as well get over it. And second of all, like I'm gonna give you a match, because I would want to do so. So that's why I went to talk to Adam Pearce, like, and the Raw there. And that's why Rhea Ripley then announced that even the Raw after Elimination Chamber, since she gonna have a second chance of getting a shot at the Elimination Chamber match, she's gonna be granted a Women's World Championship match, which Rhea Ripley asked Pierce to do. And as well as too bad, it seemed like this not gonna be the plans, maybe it could be Bianca Belair that she's gonna be facing, or even Liv Morgan again. Even though as much as we saw that about over 50,000 times, it's time to put that to rest. But anyways, it's where then we got let's see, or it could be even I'm not sure if it would be Bailey or even Roxanne. Was this leads to? I'll say maybe Alexa Bliss perhaps could be a perfect opponent for Rhea. Perhaps I don't know, but let me know down in the comments. But it's what But that's where then we got everything confirmed by, according by Rhea Ripley, by saying like it's gonna be for what made Sky feel better. That's where Dakota Kai gave the look of congrats to her partner. But that's where before we got the main event match came up. But let me know in the comments below who do you think is gonna win that women's world championship match and heading into WrestleMania against whoever wins the elimination chamber match, which is likely gonna happen because eventually Charlotte Flair is gonna manage to challenge what's her name, Tiffany Stratton, maybe on next week's SmackDown or this coming SmackDown. I mean, like this coming Friday. But before I get into all that, like I want to point one thing out. Like I forgot to tell you about, like in the beginning of this podcast video. Charlotte Flair was not even nowhere to be seen, at least on camera, on Monday Night Raw. So I guess that's one sign that she's definitely going to be choosing Tiffy for this Friday. This Friday, like on the road to WrestleMania, is her opponent. And who do you think is going to win? Which some might think that Charlotte's going to win. And as much as I would be against that as well, as much as you assassinators are, I think maybe it could make sense. They'll make Tiffany a much bigger star, and we can see somewhere down the line Tiffany's trying to win back the championship. Hoping she don't suffer the same fate like another women's wrestler did when they were paired with Charlotte into a long like 6-month feud for the women's championship, that belt in particular. Which I'm not sure if I should mention more from that. But anyways, let's get into the next slide. Let's talk. But let's move on to the next slide. Let's get let's see let's come out let's see let's go back to like after the powerful force like went off, like let's talk about like with CM Punk, like they came into the ring, cut a promo before the main event, like, and this is where CM Punk even acknowledged it. But before we got that, this is where we also saw CM Punk talking into the new guys and gals of the WWE family, like of the LFG, like when they showed a little preview on the show, like that they're going to be airing this coming weekend, I believe. This is where and where CM Punk was like I want to ask you, are you on fudge on sweet and chocolate kiwi killing ready? And this is where you I want one of you guys that has the balls to get up here and try to join me and see if you have what it takes to be a future WWE superstar. And it's where then they got a few takers, like a couple of them that were guys, a couple of them that were girls. Like yeah, like they wanted to prove that they're superstar material, if that makes sense to put it. But this is where then we got CM Punk got on the microphone onto the live Nashville crowd, where the fans are chanting CM Punk like if he's still gone from the company, like if he's not gonna come back for another 10 years. But luckily he is back here. This is where CM Punk was like yeah, it's quite obvious like that post Royal Rumble, like that we are on the road to WrestleMania. And then this is where CM Punk nodded his head like, yep, that's right. And now, if you asked me a couple weeks ago, I would have told you, like, well, like all the competence in the world, I'm gonna win. He was like, all the competence I was assumed now would win the world because, like, actually, I did that because that was the go home show after all. Like sometimes I talk. Like sometimes I talk, and maybe it's a little bit too much. Sometimes I do talk, like, and then I may have been in the World Rumble, like, but like, oh no, before he said yeah, I'm a little bit disappointed about like not winning the Royal Rumble, but despite all that, I do have a second chance, and that's the Elimination Chamber, and maybe I can main event WrestleMania by challenging Cody Rhodes when I do win the chamber match. And I know that the American Nightmare is at home watching this, because that's where the CM Punk was like, I remember a few weeks ago I told you I'm not gonna stab you in the back. I'm actually gonna stab you right in the front like a real champion would do to its opponents, like when they challenged them for what they want. And this was like now I have no choice but to have to because I already qualified in the Elimination Chamber. And then unlike John Cena, like I like I did it like the hard working way. Like I don't have a first round bye. Like if I'm in the number one seed of the NFL, this where then he said like, but there's two other guys also qualified into the elimination chamber match. Oh yeah, what the two other guys? And it oh no, this where the CM Punk pointed out like with the Punk like why you talking like yeah, like what are you talking about? There's two because there's only three of y'all. This is where Punk then point out like, well, I'm gonna tell you one of us then got in. One of us then got a qualifying match. Actually, one of them they got like everybody tell the world like they just demand this shot like they always have demand from the last decade. Like which he was taking shots of John Cena, like using all his popularity in politics, like to get automatically be in the elimination chamber. You don't have to take it like the right way. Well, that's what CM Punk is referring to. Like it was unlike what he and Drew McIntyre did. Well, when we were talking about the Scottish Warrior, because he would rather prefer Jimmy Uso or even L.A. Knight, even though he's not sure if he's even a fan of the guy, but he does respect the guy, something that he does not do with McIntyre. And that's where I didn't see a Punk's like, but the sound of it, like, you guys are upset of it, like, maybe, just a little bit of a little hard of a, like, because the patent, like, but since it, but that's where CM Punk's like, but it's already been done, so I'm not gonna hold no grudge onto Cena. See, like, and now, like, the 16-time world champion, like he is the legend, like and John Cena is also deserved to call him shot of being qualified. But I hate to break it to him, like here's where he's but the bad news for John Cena, I'm gonna be the one to eliminate him in that match, and I'm gonna beat the living crap out of the the leader of the C Nation, along with Drew McIntyre and maybe even Seth Rollins or Logan Paul or Rey Mysterio. And I'm gonna punch my ticket of finally main event WrestleMania on one of the other nights that Gunther and Jey Uso not gonna be fighting on, and finally cheat my dream. This is seeing Punk's but the only thing and it's but that's where it's but the one person that's in the match, like I just mentioned, is Drew McIntyre that's already qualified, along with me and Cena, that piece of garbage that's not even on Monday Night Raw anymore. And then this is where then he start continuing on about his long time his current WWE rival next to is one of his top two rivals in WWE next to Seth Rollins. This is where then he would continue like I already beat you back to hell. Like if I could beat you in that demonic structure, like imagine what I could do with you. And it's like 10 times worse, if not more than that. Like this where the fans are like, yeah, good point. Like this where CM Punk I'm that's what CM Punk's like. And there's another guy that I don't want to talk about right now. He don't even deserve to be named by me. That called my, and this man is none other than Seth freaking Rollins. And then this where he continues like he's taking off Finn Balor, but either of those guys at the world champion, either of those former world champions, they gonna qualify. They're gonna be put in my hands. I'm gonna I'm I'm gonna put them down for the three in my hands, and I'm gonna get my hand raised, and I'm gonna go. And he was like, and I had never been more confident in my entire life. Like of proclaiming this. I never been confident in my entire life. And I'm like, if they were, and I was thinking, like, if they weren't teasing a feud between him and a feud between him, Rollins, and Reigns, I would assume that he's gonna get the shot against Cody Rhodes, and it's gonna main event night two immediately. But anyways, where CM Punk to put out the WrestleMania side, he's like, ladies and gentlemen, like if you're watching this at home, like WrestleMania 41, like that main event that put is that the moment that has three syllables and those syllables are C and M and Punk. And that's where the Logan Paul came out with his theme music that's kind of catchy at the beginning saying, "Hey yo!" And that's where he came out. Is where he went face to face with with the Chicago-made wrestler, with him grabbing a bottle out of a fan's hand, which I believe that fan was planned and it rhymed, so absolutely was true. It was probably one of his carnies, I guess you could call them. That's where the Logan Paul and he cut a quick promo onto CM Punk. That's where like and that's where the Logan Paul to try to take some jabs, or throw some jabs right into the Chicago Main Wrestler. That's where like I see why they call you a punk, which that sounds like a friend of mine called him. And that's where then Logan Paul's like, but what other better names I should call you right now? This is where CM Punk is like, what? And he's like, well, it's words I cannot say on TV. Well, even if I think, well, that's kind of a hypocritical fact. I think unless it's another P word that's inappropriate, I would call like the production a hypocrite. But yeah, I get what we probably get what Logan Paul's coming from. Like, so yeah, I guess it's best to not say it on live television, even if they are on Netflix, like because they're restricted not to say it. Even if the fans are allowed to say whatever they want because they bought their ticket. But at the same time, like they didn't censor that when Pat McAfee called 2 Chainz his old name, his old rapping name they used to use like about a dozen years ago. Like when he gave a shout out like to him, like when he was in attendance a couple weeks ago on Monday Night Raw. But anyways, where we got Logan Paul. It's like, but you understand, Punk, like against this right here, like it's like this right here, like you guys booing me, like why are you cheering this game? Like, but I want to ask you why in very shocking questions, like you. And this where then he was like, this where he's like, and you're not looking at CM Punk as an insult. Claiming that when he claimed that unlike Kevin Owens, he never lost to Logan Paul. Like, well, that's because he haven't fought someone like Logan Paul, and and that makes you kind of a hypocrite because like you actually did technically lose to me, even though I didn't win this match when I eliminated your ass at the Rumble over a week ago. And this where then I was like, yeah, it's true. Like, so I guess that. So I guess he made a huge blunder for saying it, even though that was like the go home SmackDown before the Rumble. Like this where Logan Paul pointed out that he did have his number. So I guess that's where he's like he's 1-0 with him right now. This is where he's like that's technically losing to Logan Paul, but the fans don't because like even though like it was the Royal Rumble match and he didn't win the whole thing, so that technically is a win kind of situation. So maybe they kind of teased the feud between the YouTuber and 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 the best in the world in the future feud, like anytime after WrestleMania 41. And let me know in the comments when this should happen. I wouldn't mind if this was that SummerSlam this year. But it's where the CM Punk was this compared him to the dirtiest man with the most dirtiest mustache in all professional wrestling, which was Dirty Dominic Mysterio. This where he said like with all this booze, like if I didn't know better, I would get you confused with Dirty Dominic Mysterio or just Dominic Mysterio. Or something, and this is where the fans are cracking up. And that's where I start dying with laughter. Like this where he gets a silver trophy of the night next to who was the guy that got a silver trophy? I totally forgot. Was it Dirty Dominic? Yeah. But it's where we got and I see a Punk like, but yeah, like, hey, but I cannot take that away from you. You eliminated me from the Royal Rumble, so congratulations, Paul. This where CM Punk was and then and that's where then CM Punk was like, you may or may not be qualifying at the Elimination Chamber later on, but I totally forgot you were even in the match whatsoever, just completely crowning on him. Like, so yeah, congratulate. So wish you good luck. He's like, like you might have my number at the Rumble, but tonight, like the number you pull is 6. Like, but the number you're pulling right now is 619 because that's the area code of San Diego. I heard from a fellow YouTuber which that's what 619 means when it comes to his maneuver. Which that's the only thing I'm gonna be saying about like what's the like a little bit of a slimmer version of a story of the origin stories of what why he calls his now signature, but former finishing maneuver, the 619. That, but it's where the Man, that's where CM Punk's like, he's the legendary representative. And if you can pass him, then you'll be lucky enough to pass me. I like if you can be lucky to cross me, I'll see you in Toronto and put your ass to sleep. And this way, then he dropped the microphone. Logan Paul's like, no, yeah, like I'll see you too at Toronto while I put your ass to sleep with something I have under my pockets, which I was like, I'm not quite surprised. But this where we got that's where I got Rey Mysterio and CM Punk that shook hands, which I believe this was the first time I saw them on TV together in over 15 years. This is where CM Punk was like, yeah, like I wish you good luck and all respect to you. This is where they did hand to hand, like when they went to touch foreheads, like with them showing a sign of respect. This is where then we did the match, and let me tell you, this was a match that you would want even at a WrestleMania event. Even though you may not be, most of y'all probably not be fans of Logan Paul, and that's probably kind of understandable. But like, just hear me out. Like with Logan Paul improving in the squared circle, like he's doing a. I'll say like you just probably could not help but just want to see more of his work, and maybe WWE made the right choice of doing the finish like what they did. But and even though like I got the right person to win, predicted right, like the Bailey versus Lyra Valkyria match, it still didn't end it like the way I predicted it to be. Actually, it was more of a clean finish than that. But anyway, this is where we got Logan Paul go for leaps forward and back, like when he threw him right to the left corner side. This is where once he fall right down, he gets stomped right into the head by the former WWE and World Heavyweight Champion. This is where the Hall of Famer tried to go up to the former United States Champion. This is where he kicks him right in the face first, and probably reminded him who dethroned him in his last reign with the United States Championship about a couple of years ago, or almost. That's where fans start chanting Logan sucks, which I guess is for the best, like at least for this with this gimmick now he's a heel. But that's where Logan Paul caught him when Rey Mysterio tried to go for a flying headset. He kneed him right into the gut, like like it's like this is where then Logan Paul gave a very evil grin because yeah, he is a heel. This is where he's like, what was that? I can't hear you. The only thing I'm hearing right now is success and victory. And this is where then he picks up what's his name, with Rey Mysterio, throws him right to the bottom right corner side. This is where we got this is where Logan Paul lands and punches left, right, left, and center. This is where then we got Logan Paul brought him down right to the bottom right corner. Here's where he tilted his shoulders like yeah, like I didn't want to do this to you, the little luchador, like, but I had to do something in order to get what I want, and that's to finish my story, like of unfinished business that I have with Cody. This way, then he throws Rey Mysterio right back in the middle. This way, he throws him right to the bottom right corner side, knees him right to the midsection of the process. This where Logan then try to pick up Rey Mysterio, try grabbing onto his arm, doing a mockery of the "You Can't See Me" taunt, like if he's the 16-time world champion legend. This is where then he start repeatedly kneeing him right to the gut. This is where we got. This is where we got what's his name. This is where Logan Paul continuing to do that. They're going for wrist locks. This is where he does send him right into the corner. This is where Logan Paul's like you're you're gonna stay down. This is where start kneeing him right into the head, right into the midsection of ribs. This is where start giving him some jabs until Rey Mysterio start fighting back. He hits a springboard crossbody when he ducks out of one clothesline from Logan. This is where he ends up getting kicked out though, like at 2 point. What was it? 3 was it? This is where Logan Paul was getting back up, but was barely though. This is where Logan Paul tried to close on him, but this is where he grabbed down the ropes, hits a springboard diving corkscrew and takes out the social media megastar, throws him right back in the ring. And then he was showing Logan Paul that size does not matter. Like all about what counts as the experience and the talent and the dedication, I guess you could say, of like and the determination, like of what's the ambition on why like the small guy is trying to achieve big things. But anyways, where we got Rey Mysterio try to go for a sunset flip, but Logan Paul try to counter him and try to go for a fallaway slam off the mid rope and hit a moonsault right off the top, which I don't know how Paul does it. Like I probably could barely do a regular moonsault off the top rope. Like if I was any of these wrestlers, like you got it's yeah, looking at it, it looks very scary. Like I probably could barely do like a moonsault off the top rope, like if I'm Kurt Angle, or like a lion salt, like if I'm the other guy that used to wrestle on to this company in particular. That's now the teacher, of course, but it's where we got the powerful force and all professional wrestling came on, which was a commercial break. And once we got done with the advert, it's where we got the powerful force was somehow a new fan of the social media megastar. Which I was like, that's very interesting. Like he cannot get any actual fans to be a fan of him, but yet he can have some powerful inanimate objects to be fans of him. But this is where then we threw Rey Mysterio right to the corner. This is where Rey Mysterio got back on his feet with Michael Cole then said the right call by saying like how the hell he called a good action by saying like how the hell he got back up when he was flipping right over like a human tumbleweed. But this is where then we got but this is where we got Logan Paul and looking like in with a amazed glance on his face. He was like how like you got back up as a Rey Mysterio like if you want me like all you gotta do is come down here try to fight me. This where then Logan Paul like okay you're a funeral buddy and this where but it ends up but it ends up being the other way around with Rey Mysterio trying to trying to introduce Paul to Barry, like just, trying to dig him a tombstone right beside him, even though that kind of sounds like an attempted murder if this was real life. But but the thing is, like this was just metaphoric terms in professional wrestling. Nothing real about the words that we use when we use the words kill or bury into the ground. But this is where then we got Rey Mysterio trying to go for a wheelbarrow, running bulldog, but he ends up getting slammed face first right onto Barry's tombstone in the bottom corner barricade. This is where we got Logan Paul throws Rey Mysterio back after taking a breather for like amazingly for like a good 10 seconds. This is where Logan Paul then grab onto Rey Mysterio and we try to use him like right onto the barricade, or not barricade, right onto some of the steel steps. This is where Rey Mysterio trying to fight back. This is where Rey Mysterio was trying to elbow him right off. This is where Rey Mysterio eventually countered to a wheelbarrow face buster, but it turned into a spine buster. Like with Logan Paul like hitting spine first right into the steel steps instead. Like even though it didn't look like a spine buster, but he hit some spine first. But this is where Rey Mysterio hits him with a with a suicide dive splash onto Paul. That's where he throws him back in the ring. This is where Rey Mysterio looked like he got his number and probably joined Punk, Cena, and McIntyre. But this is where I try to go for a leg drop. At the same time, this is where Rey Mysterio goes right to the top, goes up, then the bottom, hit a flying leg drop. This is where Rey Mysterio goes up on the top rope, hit a springboard moonsault right onto Logan Paul, try to go for a pin. But this is where we got Logan Paul kicking out at 2.7, was it? Yeah. And the Rey Mysterio like, oh, come on, like that. That should have been it right there, like because he learned it from the best, which was the guy that he used to wrestle and used to team with. But it's where he grabbed onto Logan Paul's arm, is where he gets thrown back first by Paul. Is where he ends up getting elbowed right to the face. Rey Mysterio then going for a flying head scissors and then sending Paul right to the upper right side. Is where Rey Mysterio's like spinning around like, yeah, it goes around and around, huh? That's where then we got. It looked like Rey Mysterio was about to. Rey Mysterio was about to go for right hands right to the upper right corner side, but the fans started counting with him, like with him hitting so many punches onto the YouTuber. This is where then we got. This is where we got what's his name. This is where Logan Paul and grab. This is where Logan Paul grab onto the grab on the Rey Mysterio, punch him right in the gut, hits him with a what they call it with a fireman's carry. This is where then he it's where then he hit the fireman's carry roll. This is where he hit the springboard moonsault. This is where he tried to go for a pin, but this is where the referee then kicks out add to at 2.999999, might as well point away from being 3. But that's where Rey Mysterio then what that like Logan Paul like to try eyes from right to the left side, like from the right side is where he gets countered into a like a surfboard DDT onto Logan Paul. This is where we got Rey Mysterio to go for the pin. This is where then we got Logan Paul get the right shoulder up right on time. This is where we got what else happens is where we got the this is where then what's his name? This is where Rey Mysterio managed to get him into a 619 like in motion. This is where Rey Mysterio was like, yeah, about that time is where Logan Paul hits a big boot right into the face. It's where then Logan Paul hits a big boot right into the face. It's where then Logan Paul starts shaking like, oh yeah, that was very and that was very brutally painful. This is where he was bleeding from the nose. This is where Rey Mysterio like retribution, retribution, a mass boy is where he started hitting them right hands right into the back of Logan Paul. This is where he tried to go for a sunset flip, which Logan Paul made a huge mistake because Mysterio grabs him up, picks him up like if he's like Logan Paul's still a child, like if he's a 10-year-old child. When Mysterio go for a power, but when you try to go for a pin, this is where Logan Paul gets the kick out at 2.9999999999. Double triple nine minus 0.1 away from being 3, which Rey Mysterio was completely shocked like that. That's where Rey Mysterio managed to hit him with the 619 because you know the rules in professional wrestling on page 4003. Like if it doesn't work the first time, the second time, that's where Rey Mysterio about to hit the pin drop splash, but he ends up getting kneed right to the ground by Logan Paul. That's where Logan Paul hits him with the lucky right. That's where then he picks him up, hits him with this very amazing new finisher to Logan Paul, like with like a back suplex when he picks him up. But he slams him into like a DDT position when he got him right to the other side, like into the middle of the ring, and got him with the 1, 2, 3. And the winner of this match, Logan Paul, is going to join uh, like which is gonna join John Cena, CM Punk, and Drew McIntyre at the Elimination Chamber, which that's what basically ended like with the Logan Paul like we started bragging about he's so good looking that you don't understand how hungry he is and he was like, and I'm still good at it, and I'm still rich as well. This is where Monday Night Raw ended in this very, I'll say, intriguing way. But it's where, but it's where at the end of the show, this is where we saw the New Day then when attack Rey Mysterio at the last minute with something that I at least expected when I thought that they were I thought that they were not going to show up at all on tonight's Raw, but yeah, before they went off the air, they made that last 2-second appearance just by jumping Rey Mysterio from behind both Kofi and Woods to start hitting some nothing but right hands, unfortunately, onto the former multi-time champions in WWE and Hall of Famer. And yeah, that was basically it for today's Monday Night Raw, or tonight's Monday Night Raw, I'm afraid that. And I'll say, but overall, most of the things that happened was pretty impressive and pretty interesting, and had me like very excited about the Elimination Chamber and see if John Cena can truly win the Chamber, or could it be Punk, or could it be Paul, or it could be McIntyre, or it could be anybody that's going to be qualified next, like a Seth Rollins, or even a what's his name, Braun Strowman, or Jacob, or Damian Priest. Like it could be anybody at this point, but I'm putting my I'll say metaphoric money on John Cena at this time. But yeah, excuse me, but uh but we finally saw like Jey Uso choosing Gunther, and it looked like Charlotte Flair's gonna be doing the same with Tiffany Stratton this Friday. That's like if or when she retains her women's championship against Nia Jax, the same woman that she beaten to become that championship to begin with. And also, we got some teasers of you got teasers of Rhea Ripley gonna be the be the person that whoever wins the elimination chamber number contenders match too. Again, also like we got a match booked for Io Scott versus Rhea Ripley. I'm not sure how I feel about it, but I'll tell you, I'm gonna look at it in a positive standpoint, like as in like at least we're gonna have this match. But hopefully, this won't be the last time we will be seeing them fight each other for the Women's World Championship in the foreseeable future. But overall, like Monday Night Raw did a super terrific job, like in most hands. So I'm just gonna most glances on my point of view at least, I'll give it about the usual 4.5 stars. It's just that it's mostly good rather than bad. So that's why I'm giving it the complete opposite of why I would give. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below what your thoughts on Monday Night Raw overall, and I hope y'all enjoyed the video. And let me and please hit the subscribe and the post notification bells for more SNA videos. And we're gonna be making a review video on the. We're gonna be making a review video for not only NXT tomorrow, but also for AEW Dynamite as well, because it's gonna be on Tuesday. For some reason, it won't be on Wednesday, which I don't know what's the reason why. I'm probably gonna figure that out on the wrestling news. But like before I leave, I want to let me know what your thoughts on what show you're gonna be watching first, NXT or Dynamite. I think I'm probably gonna be watching uh, NXT first, then I'll watch Dynamite, and I'm gonna do back to backs. And it's also the funny thing is what they also have in common, other than being on Tuesday, is also that it's gonna be go home show for their respective events. Like which NXT side we got NXT Vengeance Day, and then over AEW we got Grand Slam. And I will also be making the prediction segment like after I make the review video for both NXT and Dynamite. So make sure to be ready for that as well. But also, I will be making a. I'm not sure if who's gonna be wrestling on NXT, which I need to see like just by looking by searching it. But also, I'm gonna be making a wrestling news video, which I'll be talking about the wildest and intriguing news stories and rumors that you assassinators need to know from the What Culture Wrestling article. Yeah, which is my boys, the guys over in the UK. But also, like we're gonna be seeing on the AEW Dynamite side, we will be seeing. We will see what's his name. We will see. We will be seeing what's his name. We've be seeing the Death Riders. We'll put their trio championship on the line against the Undisputed Kingdom, and we also got the what they call the what's the name of the who else is gonna be fighting? Oh yeah, or somebody that was gonna be in a match on this coming Tuesday. Trying to remember. Who else been announced? I'm trying to remember. But for now, I know it's going to be the Death Riders and the Undisputed Kingdom for the tag team or the trios championships. Let me rephrase that of AEW. Oh yeah, it was Dustin Rhodes against MJF. That's who it was. But yeah, make sure to check that out. And also on NXT, we got the Steel Cage North American Championship match between Tony D'Angelo and Ridge Holland. And let me know in the comments section right down there also about like who's going to be winning, who and what's your thoughts on what the card on the show's looking like so far. And I'll see you all in the next video with some more SNA content. Until we meet again, Super Ninja Austin out of here. Bye bye, my assassinators. Y'all take care and have a super awesome rest of your night. And I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Peace.